Oscar, I suppose, haven't seen him much yet, but Ryan Marrick, how excited are you to play alongside him this weekend?
Yeah, pretty excited. He, at training yesterday, was very, very good. So excited to see him get an opportunity. And it's one of the positives of injuries and young players getting an opportunity, and just how excited he is to be at the footy club. He's got a real energy about him, and looking forward to going out with him tomorrow afternoon.
Got a booming kick on him, I've seen at the waffle level, and I've heard it through other people as well. Have you seen it?
Yeah, he's a beautiful kick, so he's got great skills, and he's a big size. Like he was saying, I play half forward, and I was looking eye to eye with him, and I was like, right, okay, so maybe I'm undersized, but no, he's a big, strong boy, and like he's 19 years old, or 18 as well, so he's got a lot of future and a lot of scope to become a good AFL player in time.
Obviously a lot of injuries this week again. Makes a bit of a swap around. We understand Jake Waterman's going to go down back this week, a bit different for him.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's always been injuries and kind of one in, one out at the moment. So, as I said, it's a good opportunity for some younger players. I thought Rhett Bazzo was probably one of our better players last week, and him taking up that key position role down back is a big responsibility, but really looking forward to seeing how he handles it.
What's been some of the maybe key messaging trying to get Ryan up to speed as far as your dynamic that you two might have in the forward line?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously structures and things we need to comply to, but bringing his strengths and his flair, particularly at AFL level, that's something that if you can do that, it always bodes well for you as a player. So looking forward to him being out there, and just the energy that you get with young players. Like hopefully kicks his first goal, everyone will get around him, just that atmosphere and something looking forward to.
You hand the captaincy back to Luke Shuey. Have you enjoyed the experience?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I'm really grateful for the club for allowing me to do it, and I think TB, Duggo and myself all handled ourselves relatively well, but grateful to have Luke back. He's our leader, and looking forward to playing behind him tomorrow.
I think Simo was pretty complimentary, particularly as to you performing while you had that role. Long term, would it be a role that you would enjoy sort of taking up, given the experience that you've had now?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, as I said, I really enjoyed the experience, but as long as Luke's here, he's going to be our skipper, so looking forward to playing behind him. It was a great opportunity, and probably got to experience some of the feelings that like going out there, doing the toss, just the little things, growing up as a football player and loving footy. That's kind of the things you look towards, but yeah, I was pleased I was able to play relatively well in the role, but as I said, Luke is one of the better captains going around, so looking forward to playing behind him.
And how nice is it, the feeling amongst the group, having someone like Luke being able to come back into the group? You had Elliot Yeo the other week as well. It sort of seems as though you've had a bit of a difficult patch, but getting these guys back in, there might be a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel maybe? Yeah,
it's probably something we've been talking about for a while. We're going to get these experienced players back, and like Luke and Elliot at their best are some of the better midfielders going around in the AFL, and Elliot being so versatile and his attack on the contest is something we've really missed, and he really sets the tone on field as what we want to live by. Just last week, I mean, only a couple of weeks back, and his impact on the game was enormous, so really looking forward to playing with him.
I know you're not in selection meetings, but do you roughly know how close Harry Barnett was, considering it's another game in Adelaide?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, we don't have that many players on the list at the moment who are available to play, so I think everyone's always in contention, and he played really well in the waffle last week. He's a developing ruckman. Often they can take time, but his ability to move around the ground, he's got relatively good skills for a big fella as well, so don't think he was far off, but yeah, he just got to keep plying his trade and getting better.
How are you feeling about having Jack Darling back this week, having him back up forward with you?
Yeah, great. I mean, Jack's an all-Australian forward, and he was probably copying a bit of flack when he was playing before he got hurt, but the experience and just what he brings to the table is another great target. He's so reliable as a player, and you love playing with people that you know what you're going to get from them week in, week out. Heavily missed, and really looking forward to run out there.
Have you guys you and Jack pulled Ryan aside and sort of said, this is what we're going to do, you know, we've got a big challenge in Adelaide?
Not yet. I mean, we only kind of found out yesterday that he was going to play, and it's all happened pretty fast, but we'll have the flight today, so we'll probably have a chat, and then we'll have some meetings this afternoon as well. So, but I think the main thing, and as a younger player being there recently, you don't want to get overawed with too much information. Like, you just want them to go out there and play, and whilst we're out there playing, we'll kind of adjust him, get to the structures correct, but he's a good young player, and you got to back him in for that.
Oscar, there's no other backup ruck if Jake goes back, and with Jamison out and Barnett not playing. Are you likely going to back up Bailey for a little bit?
I'm not too sure yet. As I said, it's all happened relatively quickly, so I'm sure if the conversation comes, then you'll be on the flight today, and if that's the situation, then more than happy to do it. Everyone's kind of taking up and partaking in whatever role they can. So if it's my turn to be a backup ruck, I'll go back and get it done for us.
Do you remember how to do it?
Yeah, it's been a while, but it's something that I've done a couple in the forward 50, so here and there, and it's something where you keep plying your trade and when you work on it. I mean, I was never a great backup ruck, shall we say. I was kind of just holding a stop whilst Nick was injured for a period of time, so if it comes to it, I'll do as best as I can.
Do you have to pack a shin guard just in case?
I've never been a big shin guarder, so even when I was rucking, I wasn't wearing one, so not for me.
Have you touched base with Nick? I mean, you know what it's like to be out with a long-term injury. Must be a pretty devastating blow for him.
Yeah, he's really frustrated, and that's understandable. Hopefully, recovery from now goes smoothly, and is being in a similar situation. A lot of it's out of his control. He's been doing everything he can to get up, and so have our strength and conditioning and medical staff. So sometimes these things happen in footy, and he'll just have to try and recover and get back as quick as he can.
Having 6 changes to the squad this weekend, I know you sort of got used to it throughout the year, but how do you go about trying to maintain that team chemistry when, you know, there's so many blokes coming in and blokes coming out?
It is difficult, and particularly, as we said, there's a lot of younger players coming in, but we've always found this year that although there's been senior players going out, we've always had some real maturity and experience coming back into the side. So a lot of changes, but we get our captain back. So there's always a positive and a silver lining in changes this year. Just looking forward to hopefully a lot of the players coming back in at the same time. It would be nice to have a week where we get through unscathed, but that's the nature of footy, and we're on a journey as a group.
And have you seen some of the the growth in maybe the younger players, perhaps with these, you know, older blokes missing through injuries, maybe, you know, taking, you know, a couple more steps forward in their careers potentially?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ruben Ginby's had a terrific year. He's played every game, I think, this year. As a first-year player, that's incredibly hard to do, and he's played a variety of different roles. Even Brady Hoff, I think, was probably one of the shining lights last year for us, and he's continued that form on as well. So playing young players, you get a lot of experience, and in the future it'll pay us back when they're my age, they're a 4th, 5th year player, and they're really relied on to be a consistent player for us. They'll all be ready for it. So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest positives I take out of this year so far.
Oscar, I know it's a team sport, but you sit about 4th or 5th on the Coleman leaderboard at the moment. How are you feeling with your own form?
Yeah, it's been probably a bit of an up and down year for myself as well. I think I've tried to come back and play as consistent as I could, and I think I've done that relatively well, but we're only halfway through the year, so there's still a lot of season left, and I know I've been taking things week to week and trying to do what I can for the side. So relatively pleased with how I've started the year, but there's a lot of hard work to go for the back end.